Hello everyone, today we are going to unbox the new MacBook Pro 14-inch. So let's go ahead and see what's inside this box. I've been very excited about this particular model because I'm not a very big fan of the 16-inch. I'll talk more about that later, that's why I actually chose the 14 about the 16. But let's go ahead and see what's inside. So, as usual, there's this Apple pull tab. I'm actually not very happy. Normally I unbox stuff with my unboxing knife, but in this case, I mean, it's good, but at the same time, I wish I could use the knife. It feels quite nice. Let's throw it out of the way. It's quite heavy actually. Compared to the box that the M1 13-inch came in. But yeah, with the new design, it's bound to be a bit heavy. Let's see what's inside. Let's open it. There we go. Put this aside. This is something actually new. I don't know if you can see yet. See, right off the mark, we can see that there's this little circle. It's quite hard to show on the camera, but it's normally like a very flat design. I mean to say that it's a very like normal wrap, but this time they put this circle around this Apple logo. Anyways, let's see what's actually inside. So, cold aluminium. It feels quite nice. I guess I live in Canada, so it's quite cold outside. Maybe their storage is outside, but cold aluminum feels quite good. I'll put the laptop aside for a while. Let's see what's actually inside the box. So we have the cable. If you remember in my last video, I was actually speaking about this. Like they've been providing these braided cables, like the previous MagSafe cables are. They were not very durable, like they used to bend here and there. But this one is this braided. Let me see if I can focus my camera. No, it doesn't focus, but yeah, you can see that this is the braided cable. The MagSafe, I forgot to mention that this is something I really love. Like some people would say that USB-C is convenient. At the same time, I do personally feel USB-C is convenient because you just use one cable wherever you go. But MagSafe has saved my old laptop. Like back when I was a first-year student, I had this MacBook Air that was a very basic model, but I had bought it with my own money, so it was sort of like it saved that laptop a couple of times when I was about to step in on the cables. But let's see how to open this. Damn, it seems like some sort of puzzle. How do you open this thing? There we go. Even though MagSafe is back, you are able to charge your laptop using any of the USB-C ports or the Thunderbolt 4 ports that's on this laptop. But anyways, I'll just open this. Yeah, so one end is still USB-C and the other end is, as you know, MagSafe. This is, however, I've seen some forums on Reddit and also some other web pages. This is not the same as the one that was on the previous MagSafe, so it's a different size. Also, one thing I've noticed right off the bat is this cable, like my laptop is space gray, but this is like sort of something silver, something like that. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's pro laptop. Apple could have matched it, but anyways, what can we do? Let's pull this aside. We have this thing. What is this of it? Okay. Looks like something's inside. We have manuals, never read them. And then some regulatory information out of the way. Then we have, this is what I was waiting for. The black Apple stickers. This, I believe, only used to come with like the Mac Pros and other high-level Macs. But this time they came with this. I mean, this is also quite expensive. They start with what? Almost $2,000 or 2,500 Canadian. It's quite expensive here with taxes. But like, I'm not a very sticker kind of person. Like, I was waiting to see this. I've seen a bunch of reviews and stuff. It's quite nice, but this is probably going to stay in my cupboard. Like, I don't like applying stuff on my electronics. I like to keep them clean, or sometimes I'll just put in some D-brand skins or something like that. Full disclosure, this video is not sponsored by D-brand by any means, but they do make some good skins. So that's out of the way. This is basically a blank space, I would say. Nothing else inside. Then we have the charging brick. This one actually comes in two variants. So if you go for the base 8-core CPU and 14-core GPU, that comes with this 67 watt, but you can also upgrade it for $20 to the 90, I believe 96, not very sure, yeah, 96. But this is the 10-core, 16-core, 1 terabyte model. So this one by default came with the 96 watt. As per Apple, I guess it can charge up to 50% in half an hour. I'm yet to test that, but yeah, that's actually a good thing, but it's quite heavy. And as I said, like, you can put it in any port. Let's just quickly open this. I guess the bulk of the weight of this box was coming from this thing, because see, once I drop it, it's quite heavy. But yeah, this is USB-C, and then on the other side you have the standard North American cable. So yeah, that's out of the way. I guess I've taken way too much time looking at this box, but that's the thing about Apple packaging. Like, whenever you're opening these boxes, like, honestly, I personally throw every other box that I like other stuff comes in, but I have a huge stack of Apple boxes in my cupboard. Like, I just don't feel like throwing them. I don't know why. Anyways, we'll just get started with the star of the show, which is the MacBook Pro 14-inch. And this is actually the base model, the 10-core, 14-core, 10-core CPU, 14-core GPU, and with 1 terabyte SSD and 16 gigs of RAM. This is the base model. However, I have another one coming on the way, which is the M1 Max with a 24-core GPU and 32 gigabyte of RAM. As I was mentioning earlier, that I got the 14 instead of 16 because this is actually, I believe, the perfect size. The reason behind that is, number one, I usually use my laptops connected to a 34-inch ultra wide, and I do like to go here and there with my laptop. So if it's too big, like, I felt like the 16 is way too big. And the other thing is, like, you're saving quite a bit of money when you're buying the 16. The 14. And also, this time Apple has made it possible to upgrade the 14 to all the specifications that the 16s usually come in. So you can definitely try out the 14. I believe the 13-inch M1 MacBook was quite not the ideal size, but it was somewhere lacking, especially due to this bezels. It felt quite small, the screen, but I guess the 14 should be fine, especially if you have an ultra-wide monitor. And also the weight would make it way more portable. Like, it's quite heavier than 13, but still it's way less heavier than the 16. Anyways, let's go ahead and see what's inside. The first thing that my eyes goes into is the physical function keys. Like, I personally didn't hate the touch bar, but the problem was I didn't even actually like it much. Like, it was coming in my way, and I like when I'm typing, I usually don't look at the keyboard. So oftentimes I used to sort of press accidentally on the touch bar, but it was very good when it came to Zoom calls or stuff like that. I could just turn off my camera with one press. A bunch of other features, but I believe application developers couldn't make the full use of the touch bar. So it's not only Apple that should be blamed. But it feels really great to see the touch bar back. And the other thing is the keyboard. So when I first saw in the Apple keynote, they had made the background black. I personally didn't like it very much, but now I can see that it's actually pretty nice. Like, it looks quite sleek, quite minimal, and gives a very good aesthetic to the overall design of the laptop. Anyways, too much talking about the keyboard. We do have the touch bar, and this is like the old Magic keyboard. So any other keyboard that comes with the new iMacs or even the 13-inch MacBook Pro is the same keyboard otherwise. The other thing I would mention is the edges on this laptop is way more, I would say, like acceptable than the 16. Like, I did try out the 16 at the Apple Store. This edge is like quite very sharp on the 16. Like, this is also quite sharp, but it's manageable. And so that's something I definitely keep in mind if I'm trying to buy it. Then let's just open up the display. This did come in the new Mac OS. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Monterey, whatever it is. Now, this is something really good. Like, right off the bat, when I removed that protective plastic, the screen just comes to you. Like, a lot of people have complained about the notch. Like, even with the default, I don't know, like, I'm trying to bring it to the frame. Yeah, like, even with the default wallpaper, which is like a colored one, the notch usually doesn't very much bother me, and it actually looks pretty nice. Like, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but it actually looks pretty nice to me. Like, iPhone, it sort of mimics my iPhone. I mean, I would have to definitely see what happens when I'm using this on a daily basis. But for the first impression, it looks quite decent. And the display, it's like, you can see right away, like, this is not even on full brightness. Let me see if I can just pull up the brightness. Can I? Oh, probably have to do the function keys. Oh, it doesn't work. Let's now talk about the ports. This is the main reason I have upgraded to this model, alongside, of course, the power that it provides to carry out some of my tasks. So if we see on the left side, we have the MagSafe port, then two Thunderbolt 4 ports, and 3.5mm auxiliary port. And on the other side, we have the SD card reader, and then another Thunderbolt 4 port, and of course, HDMI. I believe it's not 2.1 though; it's probably 1.4, which basically means you can connect it to a TV. Talking about connectivity, so you can actually, like, this is the M1 Pro chip, so you can connect it to two external displays natively, and an additional display with the HDMI port. And then on Max, you can actually connect 3 displays and another display with the HDMI cable, so in total 4. So in the Pro, you're getting three external displays, and in this one, 4 external displays. And this SD card reader is actually very useful for my use case. The reason behind that is I don't like carrying around dongles, and sometimes you might as well forget it. So it's not it's quite useful having a SD card reader directly built into the Mac. Looking at the back side, we do have this sort of, let me give you a better angle. Yeah, so we have this like, what is it called? So it's like some sort of embossing or something along the lines of that. I forgot the term for this. It's not etching, because etching is something else, but it looks pretty decent. Like this alone makes it look very premium. And then we have this rubber pads. I believe the reason behind using them is it sort of keeps the laptop floating on the table instead of just sitting flat, and it helps with the thermal dissipation. And the overall design, like on all sides, you can see it's more squared off, like those old MacBooks from pre 2015, I believe. But it looks very nice. Like honestly, it's like you took a car from the 80s and put a modern engine in them. So it's something like that. It's actually quite very decent. I've overall liked the design very much. And as I said, that I chose the 14 for some particular reasons. Next comes the battery life. So the M1 Pro, the MacBook Pro 14-inch is, Apple said it's gonna cover you for around 17 hours, and the 16-inch is 21 hours. But I believe those numbers were taken on the base model, based on the base model. So honestly, you just might get way lower than that. Not way lower than that, but of course not those exact numbers. And it also depends on how you use it. They specifically say that it's video playback. So if you're using it for like video editing or some sort of task that requires a lot of power, so in that case you drain the batteries quite fast. But in any case, 17 hours and 21 hours is perhaps the best battery life I have seen in any recent laptop. So definitely they've done a great job in terms of the battery. And as sort of a verdict or last first impression, I don't know how that sounds, but yeah, I would say that they've done a pretty decent job on the whole thing. I think some people do complain about the notch, but I'm pretty sure that we'll get used to it, and definitely we are going to see a bunch of other laptops coming out with a notch. That's for sure, because companies do tend to follow Apple. Like, I'm not hating any other company, but there's been a trend. Like once Apple stopped providing charging bricks, some other companies followed as well. So yeah, it's probably going to settle a trend, and there's a reason behind that notch actually. So they have bumped up the camera to 1080 pixels instead of that crappy 720 pixel from the old MacBooks, and that needed a larger sensor. So that's why they needed to accommodate that inside that tiny little like screen frame. So yeah, that definitely makes sense, and I would much prefer a better webcam, especially in the era of like this COVID times when you were constantly on video calls every now and then. Otherwise, in terms of the chipset, I've gone with the M1 Max, not this particular model, but the one that's actually coming in the mail. The M1 Max with 24 core GPU, the 10 core is across the board. So yeah, 24 core GPU and 32 gigs of memory and 1 terabyte SSD. So that sort of makes it, I would say, a bit future proof. I actually wanted to make a video on what model actually suits you, and I'm actually working on that. So hopefully I'll be able to post it sometime soon, before you start ordering. I actually go to university full time, so squeezing out time from my studies is quite difficult, but I'll try my best to bring it out as early as possible. Let me know in the comments below anything else you'd like to know, or if I missed something. And please give a like to my video and subscribe to my channel if you have found this video useful or interesting. Thank you for watching. Talk to you in the next one.